great flexibility exercise for you guys today. Taking this one from gymnastics. It's what I call a progressive loaded stretch. Great for stretching out hamstring and the hips. So for most of you golfers out there, a lot of problems in these areas. So what I'm gonna have you guys do is first, we're gonna start with a step on here. A lot of people, their hamstrings are really tight, so starting on the floor is very challenging. So we're gonna start with something maybe about 6-8 inches up. So you've got a Reebok step here. As your flexibility improves, you can work your way closer and closer to the floor. When you're on the floor doing this, you want your legs to be able to be all the way flat. But for most of you guys, tight hamstrings, tight hips, we're gonna start up. It's gonna help you get a little bit more out of the stretch. So what I'm gonna have Brandon do here is go into the straddle position here. What I'm gonna have him do is point the toes. So he's about 1 inch or 2 from the edge of the lip, so he can kind of help keep his weight forward. He's pointing his toes long, which is gonna help start to get some length here through the anterior tib, a little bit of stretch in the arch for most of us who are tight all the way to the back of the legs. What I'm gonna have Brandon do, start with placing his fingers behind his head. So what I want you to do is think about keeping your body nice and solid on here. So first thing he's doing is driving his legs down into the floor. So he's forcing that stretch through the belly of the hamstring. He's gonna keep his back nice and flat. I want him to imagine that someone's picking his head up as he keeps his back flat, just like a deadlift, and pulling him along as he comes across the room. So what he's doing is coming down as far as he feels comfortable on the stretch here, still maintaining, keeping that back nice and flat. When he kind of feels like he hits that bottom point, I'm gonna have him come all the way back up. So once again, he's reaching, kind of coming up nice and tall, pushing the belly of the hamstring long, and then I'm gonna have him go back down again. So each time, he's keeping that scap activated. His elbows are gonna wanna come forward, his back's gonna wanna bend, so you wanna keep that back flat, kind of keeping it out. Good, and drive it down. Each time you go down on this stretch, you're trying to go a little bit further than last time, but we don't wanna round in the back. So really important on here, we're still not dropping the chin, we're keeping it off the sternum. The elbows are kind of pushing back to keep the T-spine activated, which is going to help the stretch in the hamstrings as well as the hips on here. Good, I'll have to do one more sideways here. So as you guys can see on here, for some of you guys that have a hard time with cheating, you can put a golf club behind your back to kind of keep those arms from rounding. So he's got that nice flat spine, just like on a deadlift, kind of reaching down. Good, as far as he can. Good, back up. So what I'm gonna have you guys do on this exercise is we're gonna do sets of 10. So you're gonna hold the stretch at the bottom for maybe a 1 count each time. And on the very last 10th rep, you're gonna hold that stretch at the bottom for 10 count. What that's doing is training your brain to start to be able to communicate with that new length of stretch at that end range, so we start to gain some flexibility and have control of that flexibility. So once again, great loaded progressive stretch, working those hamstrings and hips for all you golfers out there, starting with the step, and as you improve, you can get lower and lower, kind of bring the step down to where you can do it on the floor.